Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, PFF suggested that the Vikings should sign Derrick Henry this offseason. I'll be giving you guys my thoughts and the full details of what they had to say coming up here shortly. But then also, this pretty well-known NFL insider had this to say about the Vikings potentially drafting a quarterback. You guys are going to want to stay tuned and hear what they had to say. But first, guys, we are in a battle right now. It is challenge month here at Chat Sports, and our Saints Now channel challenged us to a like battle, and their video they posted yesterday got 345 likes. I want to blow them out of the water. I want to double that number. I'm putting the goal on today's video at 600 likes, and I'm calling all of you guys out. If you guys bleed purple and gold, love the Minnesota Vikings, help me out. Or if you just want to beat the Saints Now channel in likes, drop a like on today's video. All right, let's dive into it. Starting off with some chat stats here, kind of giving some backstory or some background information on why, the Vikings and Derrick Henry, there will be noise about that. And overall, the Vikings just signing a running back, drafting a running back, there will be a lot of noise about that because the Vikings under Kevin O'Connell have not been a good rushing offense. The Vikings have not been able to, consistently, I should say, generate a run game. I felt like, especially in that 2022 season when they did average 97.7 yards per game, which was by no means good, but most of those yards I always felt like it was either like a Dalvin Cook 40-yard run or Dalvin Cook for, 1 yard or less than a yard on the play. I felt like it was very boom or bust, and, this past season, not much better. Only averaging 91.5 yards per game, which was 29th in the league. Overall, under Kevin O'Connell, they've had a very poor rushing attack. But that kind of gets me to this. Brad Spielberger of PFF had this to say around the Vikings possibly signing Derrick Henry. He says Minnesota's rushing attack was one of the least efficient across the NFL this past season, and they may also be looking to bring along a young quarterback, whether or not they keep Kirk Cousins in the fold. This front office may not be viewed as one very likely to pay top dollar to the running back position, especially after they sharply moved on from Dalvin Cook before the 2023 season. But maybe there's enough of a buy low opportunity here on Henry. And I agree. I mean, it would be shocking enough if the Vikings were to pay top dollar to the running back position. But, I mean, listen, if you are going to do that, this is a perfect opportunity to do so because there really is no true, home run player in this backfield right now. I love Ty Chandler. You guys know how I feel about him. Could he be a true RB1? I'm not sure yet, but Alexander Mattison, he was terrible this past season. No touchdowns, less than 4 yards per carry. I frankly don't think he should touch the ball again for Minnesota. I'm just not really, I'm just not a big fan of his game. He doesn't really offer too much pop. And then also, a guy like Cam Akers. He is coming off that torn Achilles. I do like his juice. But overall in this running back room, you don't have a true number one. Well, Derrick Henry, he is a true number one. And just looking back on his 2020 season, I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. 378 carries, 2,000 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, and 17 touchdowns. And I think the thing is with Derrick Henry is he would almost automatically give you a solid rushing attack. Like, no matter how shaky your offensive line is, like, he will still be able to produce. And I know you may be saying, well, he's on the tail half of his career. He may be out of his prime. And yes, I agree. But a out of the prime Derrick Henry, in my opinion, is still a top 7 back in the NFL. And if you would pair him up with maybe a Chandler, I think it could really be explosive in this backfield. And I think Derrick Henry, if the Vikings do go draft a quarterback, having that kind of safety net of Henry, Jefferson, and Hockenson would just even give more reason or even more support to a quarterback this season. But if you would pair up Derrick Henry with a guy like Ty Chandler, I think that would be one of the better 1-2 punches in the NFL. I think Ty Chandler, listen, I thought heading into the year, I thought maybe he could be a true running back one in this league. Probably don't think that anymore, but I mean, if you would pair him up with Derrick Henry be that goal line guy. Maybe Ty Chandler improves his blitz pickup game and improves his pass catching side of the running back game. It would make a hell of a 1-2 punch. But overall, the Vikings need a run game next season. I'm sick and tired of the Vikings just being so Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson dependent, where it's like on a drive, the Vikings are just constantly in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6 because they're picking up 2 yards on 1st and 2nd down with a halfback dive that just goes nowhere. If you would sign a guy like Derrick Henry, obviously it's going to come down to price point. But if you could maybe get him on an $8-10 million deal with maybe extra cap space you have, and you would really, create, I think, in my opinion, one of the best offenses in the NFL in terms of weapons with Henry, Hockenson, Jefferson, and Addison. I'd be all in, but overall the Vikings just need a better run game next season because we also have seen when the team gets into December, January, they're just not as good as they were in November and September and October, and that's a lot to do with the Vikings just, over the past couple of years being more of a finesse team, get some physicality, add a run game. I think Derrick Henry would definitely check that box, but maybe you guys disagree with me. I want to get you guys involved here on today's video. Should the Vikings sign Derrick Henry? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments section. I'm probably doing it, but it obviously is going to come down to price point, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should the Vikes sign Derrick Henry? Y for yes or N for no? Coming up here in just a second, an NFL insider said this about your Minnesota Vikings. You guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. But first, I got to give you guys, or got to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Game Time. If you guys are planning on buying a ticket to any sporting event, music show, whatever it may be, make sure you guys do use Game Time. It's the best seats, the lowest price guaranteed. And if you guys use code VikingsChat, you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. VIKINGSCHAT. Use that code, and you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. But also, maybe you plan on heading to the big game this Sunday between the Chiefs and the Niners. Game Time is actually hooking you up with $100 off if you use the code Vegas100. You guys will get $100 off. Doesn't matter if you're a first-time user or if you use Game Time countless times. Does not matter. If you're going to the big game, use code Vegas100 and you'll get $100 off. But also, you guys can also use code VikingsChat for $20 off your first purchase. VIKINGSCHAT. Use that promo code. Best seats, lowest price guaranteed. Get hooked up today. No matter what sporting event, concert show, whatever you want to go to, Game Time has a ticket. It's the lowest price guaranteed. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's video. Make sure you guys do get hooked up today. So the NFL insider that had this to say about the Minnesota Vikings was actually about them drafting a certain quarterback from Michigan, J.J. McCarthy. Somebody asked him, how do you feel about the Vikings drafting J.J. at 11? He said, I like J.J. McCarthy a lot. His winning pedigree and elite athleticism should move the needle and help raise his stock as the draft process moves along as well. And I totally agree with that, with what Jordan Schultz is saying. I think, most people, who watched, the semifinal and the championship game this past year in college football, and they just looked at the box sheet, they're saying, man, how is this J.J. McCarthy guy going to be a first-round quarterback? Michigan was a run-first offense. They didn't really rely on him, to go win them games. But I think people forget. This kid was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He won 2 state championships in high school, won a national championship in college. He is the definition of a winner, played in a Cole outside stadium at Michigan, still was able to perform. And it's not like Michigan had an elite amount of wide receiver talent this past season. Like, it's not like Michigan had, the Washington offense or the LSU offense where they were pushing the ball downfield. They were a run-first offense, and this kid was able to produce. That's why he is similar to Brock Purdy to me. Listen, I understand, yes, Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. Maybe, the talent-wise, J.J. McCarthy is way better. But in terms of the intangibles and just what he's about, he reminds me so much of Brock Purdy, especially the way he plays. Because, people forget, Brock Purdy, or maybe not forget, they don't realize, Purdy is great outside the pocket, making people miss in the pocket as well, just buying himself that extra second and getting the ball out on time and on target. Well, J.J. is also great at that. And the thing I love about J.J., and we can look at his advanced stats here, is that, I think there's a reputation around him that he can't push the ball deep, but he has. I mean, look at these deep throws from 20-plus yards this past season. 25 of 46, 10 touchdowns to 1 interception for over 700 yards. Yes, he is deadly accurate in the short passing game, going 119 of 150. He's great there, but I also think he's underrated in terms of pushing the ball downfield. And could you imagine the Vikings landing J.J. McCarthy, and he gets to throw the frickin' J.J. or Justin Jefferson instead of Roman Wilson this past season? I think when you look at some of these guys, start looking at their overall, I guess I want to say their overall, kind of how they are as a quarterback instead of just their stats. Because I feel like a lot of people look at McCarthy and they see the, the lack of production. They automatically assume, oh, he can't play in the NFL. I think a lot to do with that was because of the opportunity he was presented at Michigan. That's why I'd be all in on McCarthy at 11. But also, what if you don't want to, what if you don't want to bring back Kirk, but you also want to draft a quarterback maybe at 11th or, maybe in the second round at 42nd overall? These are 5 free agent options that I think could be, maybe not a bridge guy for a whole year, but maybe just the first couple games of the season. Go throw in a guy like Jacoby Brissett for weeks 1 through 4 and then have J.J. or Penix or whoever it may be kind of develop behind them. These are 5 guys. Just keep your eyes on if the Vikings do not bring back Kirk Cousins. I could see them signing these 5 right here and maybe have them kind of be the bridge before, obviously the rookie is ready to play. But this is a controversial topic. I am in the camp that I would take McCarthy at 11, and I'd run with it. But would you? Would you draft J.J. McCarthy at number 11th overall? Give me a D for draft or give me a P for pass? Hey, it's a controversial topic. I've seen, people who split down the middle on Vikings Twitter and obviously in the comment section of our videos. Want to get you guys involved, though. Let me know. And as always, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. We're going to be going live on the channel tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We'll have videos out all week and next week. So see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. As always, go Vikes.